Hi, welcome to Industrial Engineering and Management, MWE 1014. I am Dr. V. Sukumaran, Professor Mechanical Engineering, VIT University, Chennai campus. The objectives of this course are to understand the demand forecasting techniques and costing methods, the concepts of industrial engineering and organization, and the productivity improvement techniques, principles of work study, time study, and ergonomics, various aspects of plant design and material handling techniques associated with industrial engineering. At the end of the course, you are expected to conduct market research by yourself. You should be able to do the demand forecasting and also costing. You should be having demonstrated knowledge of designing a plant and controlling the production activities. You should be able to optimize the resources of an organization and improve the productivity. This particular course you will be evaluated with CAT 1 and CAT 2, each 15% of weight, and an assignment, digital assignment, 3 digital assignments in the form of project, seminar, or assignment, 10 each, so totally 30% constitutes digital assignments. And the remaining 40 is based on the term exam. Well, before going to the subject, we should understand, ask ourselves, why we should learn industrial engineering and management. Suppose we conduct a survey and plot a pie chart of the knowledge gained by the engineers and the usage of that knowledge in the industry on their day-to-day working. The pie chart looks something like this. About 20% of the technical skills they have acquired during their engineering studies, they will be able to use on a day-to-day life. The remaining 30%, it is mostly soft skills. How well you are able to work in a team, how well you are able to lead a team, your leadership quality, getting along with people, getting work done by the people, all that matters a lot in an industry. So about 50% of that is technical skill and soft skill. The major piece of cake comes from the knowledge that you have on industrial engineering and managerial part. So your industrial and managerial part constitutes about 45% of the knowledge sector that you should master in order to shine well in the industry on day-to-day life, especially in a manufacturing industry, assembly industry, or a fabrication industry. Of course, other skills you may need depending upon the type of industry that you work, other skills 5%. Economics. The first topic in industrial engineering and management is economics, macroeconomics, and microeconomics. That is the subject matter that we are going to talk today. Well, let us first talk about economics. Let me start with a story. Long ago, there was a king who was very much interested in learning the subject called economics. So he called his ministers, there are 18 of them, he called 18 ministers and asked them to collect all the material that is possible on economics under the sun and assimilate everything, and he wanted the comprehensive form. So the ministers went on working, collecting material, comprehending it, consolidating it. They took about 20 years' time. By the time they brought a report on the big collection of material on economics, the king has become old. So he told the ministers, now I am old. Big volumes of book that you brought, I may not be able to read remaining part of my life and become good in economics. So you please kindly work further and come out with a shorter version of economics. Another 5 years they took the essence of all those volumes of books they have studied and made into 18 booklets. By the time the king was not well and he was bedridden, and the 18 ministers came with a small report, small booklets. With that, you will be able to understand what economics is and the breadth and width of economics in a nutshell. The king is already in his evening of his life, but his desire is not satisfied. So he requested the ministers, see, before I die, I wanted to learn economics. All of you sit together. Tell me in one single sentence what is economics. The ministers took 5-6 hours time. 18 ministers sat together, discussed, and came up with a phrase with the 18 letters. There is no free lunch. There is no free lunch is 18 letters word. Each one constituted a letter and formed this sentence. And this is the essence of economics, they said. I don't know whether the king understood, but we have to understand this. What is this economics is all about, and how is this is related to this phrase called "there is no free lunch." The couple of lectures, upcoming lectures, we will be relating it to this phrase called "there is no free lunch" to economics. Let's get into the subject and try to relate ourselves to this particular phrase. From our common sense, economics, is it a study of money that deals with money? No. Is economics is something to do with savings? No. Since we said there is no free lunch, is it something about eating the lunch? No, not at all. Then what is economics? Economics is the study of how one chooses to use the scarce resources that have alternative use to satisfy the wants or needs which are varying degree of importance. In short, economics is the study of use of scarce resources that have alternative uses. There are many definitions to economics, but this definition is the one which I like and I would like to use in my class. So, economics is the study of use of scarce resources that have alternative uses. Right. Let's try to understand this definition first, and then later we try to relate this to the phrase that we saw in the previous slide. There is an important term in the definition, scarce resources. All the resources available in the world are not scarce. If the resources are plenty, abundant, then it is not a subject matter of economics. If the resources are scarce, then only it comes under the subject matter of economics. That's the first point that we should understand. Second, the resource that we have should have alternative uses. If there is a resource and it is used for only one use, then it is not subject matter of economics. So the resource that we are considering for the study should have many uses, more than one uses. Then only we bring that under the scope of economics. When we have more than one items, uses, and we have only limited resources, we need to now choose or decide where to use that particular resource to produce maximum benefit. So there are choices because there are more than one uses. Because of that, there is a choice. Because there is a choice, there is a decision-making process. So that decision-making process should be rational. That means it should be logical. You cannot arbitrarily take whatever you want as a decision. So it should be a logical decision. And it should act objectively. There is no subjectivity in our decision. You should be, as far as possible, should be objective in your decision. So your decision should be logical and objective, and it should be economical. What is mean by economical? Because we are trying to define economics, but again another term economical comes. Economical means the varying degree of importance. The definition also talks about you should have more than one alternative uses, and the alternative users should have varying degree of importance. If all the options are of same important level, then you cannot decide anything. Arbitrarily, you have to choose. If it is varying importance, then there is a possibility for us to do a cost benefit analysis. Suppose I put this resource into X uh, X business, it will give me so much benefit. If I put the same resource in Y business, it will give me so much benefit. So I will do a cost benefit analysis, and out of cost benefit analysis, I know what is the cost. Cost means the money or resource that I am spending, and benefit is what I get back out of it. So the cost benefit analysis will tell me what are the gain for different objectives or different alternate uses that we have. Once I do cost benefit analysis, I will be able to tell which is the choice which I will choose for investing or allocating my resources so that my benefits will be more. So economics is doing cost benefit analysis, which has varying importance. Apply the cost benefit analysis to the varying degree of importance alternatives. Make a decision out of the alternatives available for the scarce resources. This science, we call it as economics. So we go back again. Economics is the study of use of scarce resources that have alternative uses. We should have scarcity. We should have alternative uses. Then we take a decision of varying importance of alternative uses. Which one is better? We choose by using cost benefit analysis. That's how the economics is different. So economics is the study of use of scarce resources that have alternative uses. Why an engineer should learn economics? Because we have to decide to produce or not. I was working in an industry. In that industry, that's a very reputed industry in India, 98 to 2000. We have been manufacturing telephones, not the cell phones that we have today, the button type, normal DOD telephones. If we produce telephones, we incur loss because the raw material we spend, the amount of money that we spend on production, and then the marketing expenditure, do everything. Finally, you get back the money after a long time. By the time we get back the money, you calculate everything and then check whether you made a profit or loss. We are at loss. We were at loss. So, as an engineer, I should be able to decide whether I have to produce certain component. In fact, we were sitting idle for 3-4 months. I remember very well during my young age in the company, and the company reported we are in a better economical position than we were producing the goods. By sitting idle, in fact, you are not making much loss than by producing the goods. That's an economical decision. So you should be able to decide to produce or not to produce. And that's an engineer. As an engineer, you and me have to make that decision. So we have to learn economics. Two, to decide how much to produce. In the second unit of this particular course, in the first unit itself, you will learn about demand and supply. So if you produce more than the demand, naturally, you will not be able to make much profit. So you make the right prediction and produce only so much so that you will be able to sell it at a reasonable price and make profit out of it. From that, what you understand is you have to decide how much to produce from the knowledge that you have on economics. Okay, the engineering, industrial engineering related subject matter. You should have the knowledge to make a decision on how much quantity to produce. Number three, to decide the price. Demand and supply determines the price. I hope you know how the gold price is fixed. Go to the market, online trading market. The people buy, sell gold. If there are more buyers of the gold, the gold price goes high. See, now is the corona lockdown period. People are not working. People who have money, they invest in gold, and gold price has gone up recently. The gold price has gone up because people are willing to buy. The demand is more. And if the demand is not there, for example, the petroleum products, petrol price has gone down a bit. Not in India. The crude oil price has gone down a bit. Let me be very precise. So the price has gone down because many people were in lockdown, not using the petroleum products, industries were shut down. So the price of the petroleum products, crude oil specifically, has gone down a bit during the lockdown period. So whether the price is going up or down depends upon the demand and supply of the market. And that price is decided by the market, and you will understand that during this study of industrial engineering subject. So to decide what should be the price, what is the cost of manufacturing, what is the additional cost, what is the overhead cost, what is the production cost, all these costing techniques you study as a subject matter of industrial engineering. And to decide make or buy decisions, the fourth one. What is meant by make or buy decisions? I was working in a reputed company. So even the workers who are working in the shop floor are paid a reasonable minimum salary. With that, if I make telephone in my company, the cost of manufacturing per unit, let us say it is 20 rupees per telephone that we manufacture in our factory. The same raw material, we give it to a subcontractor who is a approved vendor. Maybe in 5 kilometer radius, the vendor will come, take the raw material. He will assemble all the components and give it back to us. His assembly cost per unit will be only 5 rupees. He will give it to us with 10 rupees. If I make for each unit, I have to spend 20 rupees because of my prestige, my company image, the wage that I pay, the rules and regulations that I follow. The cost is high, and the infrastructure that I have, the quality aspects that I can maintain, all decisions, all factors, including my cost per product is say let's about 20 rupees per unit. Whereas if I buy, I'm able to buy at 10 rupees per unit. Then, as an engineer, I should be able to take a decision whether it is wise to buy or to make. So, to decide make or buy decisions, one should know very well about this economics. What are the major classifications in economics? We have two types of economics. One is macroeconomics, other one is microeconomics. The macroeconomics deals with aggregate economics at a larger level, often deals with policy decisions at a country level, for example. Very higher level of decisions are done at policy level. They are all categorized under macroeconomics. If it is the decisions, economical decisions for an individual or a business you take, and those subject matter comes under microeconomics. So macroeconomics deals with aggregate economic level at a larger level, often deals with the policy decisions, and microeconomics, it is how individuals and business makes decisions. The two roles of economist. There is a scientist. He explains how the world is behaving, and policymakers dictate how the world should be. And accordingly, there are two types of analysis people do. One is positive analysis and or statements they do. Other one is normative analysis. Positive statements are statements that describe the world as it is, how the world is behaving. It is called descriptive analysis. You don't try to change anything, but you describe how it is going on. And normative statements are statements that that dictates how the world should behave like. That's prescriptive analysis. So these are two types of analysis that we do as an economist. To sum up, uh, we just gave an introduction to this course, and we explained what is economics and two types of economics: microeconomics, macroeconomics. Economics is a subject matter that deals with the scarce resources which has alternative uses. Macroeconomics deals with higher level of decision making, policy making issues. Microeconomics deals with individual or company level decisions comes under microeconomics. And positive and normative analysis. Positive analysis is telling how the world is behaving. Normative analysis is how the world should behave, dictating the world how it should behave. I hope it is okay. If you have any questions, we can have it offline. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.